Girl, you look good when you come around. Look even better when you turn around. Say we be going all in. Say we be all in.
What is up, Portuguese fam? Welcome back to our channel. So today we decided to just lounge around and chat with you guys. We want to make this helpful video about confidence, about self-confidence or confidence as a couple in today's day and age. So we hope you find this video very helpful. We're gonna basically just chat about our experience, things that we relate to, and we hope you guys relate to us. So I love these videos because I think it's a great way to connect with people, and it's helpful because, like, we believe we're very confident, right? Like, you're very confident and I'm very confident.
Of course.
Yeah, but it hasn't always been that way. It doesn't mean that, you know, we lack confidence in certain areas of our lives, and it doesn't mean that like we're always confident, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you know, for me, I feel like, you know, I'm confident usually all the time. You know, I know myself, you know, and I think confidence comes from knowing yourself. Even
though, you guys, it has been 7 years since we graduated high school, let's just take it back and talk about, like, you know, you were the popular kid in school, and then, so after that, you know, what happens? Because that's very interesting. I always remember learning about that. Popular kids, you know, how it affects them after high school.
Yeah, all right, yeah, I was real popular. Like, I was just so big-headed. Now looking back, I can tell, like, I was big-headed. I didn't know anything about the real world. You know, I was confined in just my high school and thinking, like, I was on top, you know what I mean? Like, this is not gonna end, this is forever type stuff for me, you know? And I didn't really look at it, you know, the way that I look at it now, because the only reason why I was popular is really because I was good at sports, you know, and everybody thought I was gonna make it somewhere, you know, like with football. That was like my sport that I was playing, that was life for me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I lived and died on the field, you know, that's how I felt at the time, you know, and football, it didn't work out. Like, senior year, you know, of high school, I realized, you know, I didn't get the, you know, scholarship that I thought I was gonna get, you know what I'm saying, because I had so many colleges, D1 college, all D1 colleges was coming to the school to meet with me and stuff like that. So I thought that was just already nipped in bud, you know, that this was gonna happen for me. Like, I'm gonna go to college, you know what I'm saying, a big university. But football, you know, senior year didn't work out for me. I just didn't have the grades. I wasn't focused enough on the right things, you know. And I got out of high school, and you know, when you got your eyes and got your eggs in one basket and it doesn't work out for you, you're like a lost soul now, you know. Yeah. So I lost myself. I'm like, yo, what am I gonna do? Like, what is going on? I'm back at mommy and daddy's house, you know what I mean? Like, I'm supposed to be everybody going off to college and stuff, you know, and I'm thinking, like, D1, like, this was me. Like, I was supposed to be in college, like, I didn't even go, like, you know, so I just got so confused, like, what is my sense of direction now? Like, what am I gonna do, you know? So I actually, you know, to be completely honest, you know, I started turning to, like, the streets, you know what I mean? Because that's where I was from, you know, the people that I was around, that's just what it was, you know? So I started hanging out with them more, I started smoking weed more, you know, I started seeing, you know, all this other stuff that I thought I would never see or never do, you know? But, you know, that's what comes with, you know, being lost out there, you know? So I was just really, really lost for a couple years, you know, probably like I went through like 4 years of like being lost and having depression and no sense of direction, you know? Yeah. And so, you know, one day I just got over it, you know, because I was a strong person. I was just confused at the time. Like, I don't know what is gonna, you know, what am I gonna be, you know? And I learned, you know, myself, and I learned how to have confidence with myself, and I just figured myself out. But it took, you know, years and years of studying who you are, you know, and how you fit in the world, you know? And then once I found it, it just clicked, like, I got it. Like, my confidence is just out of this world, like, because everybody should be living their own life, you know, and everybody's thoughts and mind are different. So the way somebody view me, it doesn't hurt me, you know, and I don't care if you like me, dislike me. Everybody's, in my mind, everybody's cheering for me. The haters and, you know, the people that want to see me succeed. Everybody's cheering for me. If you got it like that, you don't have to worry about being in competition or worry about anybody else but yourself when you feel like everybody's cheering for you. And I feel like everybody in this world is cheering for me, even though I know they're not, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah. So that's good that you shared that, because I'm sure a lot of people can relate when they only have one vision, especially being in high school and once you graduate, because another thing is you have a bunch of projections around you. Like, people are projecting their life experience and what you should do, and you're hearing all these things and you're like, it's noisy basically, but it's hard to listen to yourself in a moment like that, especially because you're young too. So for me, the way it worked out is I was part of the magnet program in school, so I was surrounded by talented kids. They were like either good at playing an instrument or singing or sports, so being around that, you eventually hear what everyone else is doing. They're, like you said, writing their essays, preparing for universities, and like sometimes it seems, depending on, where you're surrounded, like who you're surrounded by, it makes it seem like everyone else has their life figured out. But it wasn't really like that, because I even knew, I had a friend that her mom even wrote her essay for her. Like, some parents, they like sabotage the situation, for their kids. This is so common. A lot of parents out there, they're really putting their kids, they're going to school and asking their children, their principals or teachers, to place these kids in this class so it can look good for, like their application, college application, and like I would see a lot of that, and like eventually in the end, it's like, wow, the mom wants this so bad that they're writing the essay for their, for their daughter. So it's like, so you could see that basically it's in our culture that the parents want it and the kids, go with it because they think it's the right thing to do. So for me, after high school, I ended up going to community college for a year, or a little less than a year, and I was told, what was like projected onto me was, you should get into the medical field. You'll always have a job. Like, become a nurse, get a skill or whatever you can do to just somehow get in the medical field. So that's what was projected onto me. Confidence has a lot to do with knowing yourself. So at the time, even though I didn't have the right direction, I didn't really know what path I was going to take, I still had a sense of who I was and what I liked. So I knew I was a really creative person. I was also a really creative thinker, independent thinker. So once I knew I had to just stop going to college, I did it. Because, and I think the moment where it hit me was when I registered again and I seen like the prices of the college, and this was in the community college. So I'm like, whoa, this is a lot of money. So I thought about it. I'm like, okay, so am I going to have, this career? Do I want to pursue getting a degree? You know what I mean? Do I want to pursue these classes? So I really thought about it, and I'm like, no, I want to invest all this money instead on starting something, starting a business, working for myself, being my own boss. And of course, when we're doing that, we think we have it all figured out. Like, I was, listening. I remember while I was working, I was always listening to podcasts. Like, I went a full year listening to like Millionaire Success, like all of these business entrepreneurship like podcasts. I would listen to a whole year straight. And so I thought I did have confidence, you know what I mean? And that's great too. Like, whatever you do, like you think you know what you're doing and it's gonna succeed. So the first business I tried, flunked, like literally flunked, no results. Well, I wouldn't say no results. I had clients, but it wasn't like this vision that I expected. Like, I had this expectation, like, clients are gonna flow from me. Like, I'm just gonna have, like, you know what I mean? Like, just how anybody thinks. Like, I'm gonna blow up. Like, on the same time that I started like my makeup business, I started to make videos. And I went 3 years making videos about beauty, DIY, and at the time I felt like I fit in, and eventually, like, I grew out of that. I grew out of that because I knew that it wasn't sustainable for me, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't really like who I was, sustainable in a way where it's like, okay, can you keep doing this? Like, would you do this for free? Because that's pretty much what I was doing, it was a hobby for me, so I was doing it for free. and you know, it was fun, but then I realized like I just want to have my voice. I want to find my voice on the internet if I'm going to be on the internet at all. You know, and then something else that hit me too, which I took a huge break from social media, it hit me that numbers, you know, don't really matter. Like followers don't matter, subscribers don't matter. You have to be able to like turn it into business, turn it into like selling a product or something, like having something of value that you can provide for people, you know. And that's something where it felt like another drawback too, because it's like, wow, you have so much more to learn, like, you know what I mean? You have this vision, you think this is right, but not even that's not even right, you know. So I think that's where confidence is important. It's when you're figuring out your own path, regardless of what everyone else is saying, you're figuring out your own path, and it's literally about watching the 99% of people going all in one direction and you still be able to go your own direction. Like, have confidence enough to do that. And I think, yeah, that's crazy. I think it takes practice to do that. You don't just, you know, wake up one day and you're confident like that.
Yeah, that's true. It took, like I said, it took me a couple of years. I'm like, 'cause I used to put music out, I used to do videos, and I used to view my videos like, would people like this? You know what I'm saying? Am I doing the right thing?
Yeah.
You know, you start questioning yourself. You know, now I don't have no question. I know what I'm doing is right, and I know what I'm doing. It fulfills me, and it doesn't need to fulfill anybody else.
Yeah.
If people have been watching the Fat Fit Fan video, y'all can see that I go out here and make things happen. I like to make people feel uncomfortable, because it's like, I can be myself. I can bring that energy to other people and impact other people's lives. Because every time I go out here, you know, and do like these public skits, or, you know, go to the beach and do a DJ, you know, setup and everything like that, I can see people smile. I can see I'm brightening people's day up. And then on the other side, I can see people who are looking at me like, this guy's crazy. Who does he think he is? Or just like really scared and really intimidated by, you know, me being myself and expressing myself. I always tell people like, you know, escalators go up and then there's some that go down. So the one
the other one.
Well, yeah, you're tripping, yeah, the other one. So the people that are going down, you know, this is for people out here just to have like a public analogy. Yeah, a public, you know, experiment. Go up the other way, the escalator. So the people that are going down, you come up, you walk up the escalators that's going down, and watch how many looks that you get, you know. And that's how life is. Well, they're gonna look at you like you're crazy and weird, you know what I mean? And that's how life is. It's like, you either following the path, you know, or turning around and making your own decisions and making your own path. And guess what? Everybody's not gonna accept your path. Everybody's not gonna even understand your path and what you're doing, but you gotta have strength in yourself to know what you're doing is right.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta have strength and the confidence to say, you know what, I don't care what you think of me. I don't care what you think. I know what I'm doing is right. And I feel so sorry, because there's a lot of kids that are going to college just for their parents, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that are doing things just for other people and not really following their calling. And some people don't even know their calling, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So basically the point of our conversation is that it's important for you to have confidence, for you to like flunk, to be able to completely fail and still get back on your path, something that you chose for yourself, instead of saying, like a lot of people do today with social media, they see other people and they're like, oh, it seems like it's working for them, so I'm gonna go ahead and copy, I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing, you know, because it should work for me, it's working for them, you know. So I think that's what confidence is about too, because it's like another thing too that I recently learned is like the difference between financial freedom and financial confidence. You know, because a lot of times that's something that we want, to do our passions and have financial freedom. Yeah. But the word we should be using is financial confidence, because financial confidence is kind of like what I'm saying. Once you chase this dream, or you're chasing this opportunity that you think is right, when you don't get money out of it, you have to have financial confidence for you to get back up, you know, and try something else. Mm-hmm. You know, have the confidence also that when you have the income, you can lose all of it and know that because you know yourself and what you're capable of, you're gonna acquire that money again.
It's gonna come back, yeah. You know? Probably more.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the saying they say, what they say, if you divide the money?
Oh, if you split up the money equally into everyone in the world, the money would eventually end up in the same people's hands.
Because it's the mindset, right?
Exactly.
Isn't that crazy to think about?
Yeah.
If they spread the money out, look, $1 million for you, $1 million for you, millions of dollars for you. In 5-10 years, you look back, it's going to be the same people.
Yeah.
That has
it's
the
really
money
all in your mind, and that's why it's so important to have confidence.
Yeah.
Because people are going to bash you all the time, all around you. They're going to put you down and say, well, you know, I don't think what you're doing is right.
Yeah.
You know, but it's really up to you to decide that. It's up to you to decide, can I stand here alone?
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of people, they're looking for like, oh, where's my friend? Who can I rely on?
Yeah.
But look in the mirror. You know, and also stop looking at social media. Like people look at social media and admire other people following their dreams. Like you need, when are you going to be brave enough to follow your own dreams? You know what I mean? Do your own thing. Because another thing too that gets people is people believing that the market is saturated. Well, other people are doing what I'm doing. And that's specifically why you have to do it, because there's no one out there like you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And people forget that every day. Why? Because they're too focused on other people on social media and comparing themselves. Yeah. Well, I'm not like this. Well, I don't have this. I don't have that. And the list goes on.
Yeah. Well, I cut myself off from all the people. I just can't be around a person that's not confident or that's not like chasing something.
They're gonna always be projecting their insecurity.
Exactly, because if you're not chasing something, you're not doing something, then you're looking at negative stuff.
Yeah, and the person who's confident in pursuing their dreams, they're only gonna keep reminding you of what you're not doing. So
yeah, so you're gonna hate on them and all types of stuff.
You're not gonna be able to hang out with the people who are not confident.
Exactly.
Now we're gonna go into our tips. We selected some tips for you guys, and we hope you find this helpful. Let's get into it. Tip number 1, I suggest, so this is what I did, something that's so beneficial, so useful, is set a limit on the time you spend on social media. I'm not here saying get out of social media, delete your account, you know, live under a rock. That's not what I'm saying. Just limit yourself. So what I do is I set the Apple, I think it's on the Apple, yes. The new Apple update lets you do that. You can go in your settings and literally set the time limit for social media. So I like to limit myself for 30 minutes. So if I'm up at night or something, like past midnight, and I'm on social media, I already know, my brain is already telling me, well, guess what? You're using tomorrow's time to be on social media. You know what I mean? So, and what I like is it's, you know, like I said, it's really making your brain realize that you got 30 minutes. So use it wisely, you know, use it to connect in your community or education, educate yourself. Like, you always have to ask yourself, you know, am I impacting people or am I learning? Is somebody impacting me? So that's what I try to stick to. And sometimes I do get lost in the fashion and all the glam. Like, trust me, what girl doesn't? But that is what I would say.
All right, so tip number 2 that I got is what helped me is just to go out there every day, you know, and do something that scares you, you know.
Good job.
Yeah. And I don't mean like you go out there and like do some reckless stuff.
Fall off a cliff.
Yeah, don't do nothing stupid like that. But I'm saying do something that scares you, that makes you feel alive, you know, because that's what helps me. Like when I go out and perform and stuff, and when I go out and do these public skits or, you know, anything I do, you know, it just builds on, you know, my confidence, and it builds on my drive, and it builds on my hunger, you know, because like you said, it's like a muscle. Like your confidence, your mind, you have to really shape and mold it, just like a body. When you want to work out, you want to shape your body, you got to do the same thing with your mind and your confidence, because if you can't, then, you know, nothing's gonna really work out for you, you know, and you're gonna live life very, very frustrated.
Tip number 3, I would say stop seeking validation. Just become aware, right? Become like aware when you seek validation. So that could mean checking back on your likes, or checking back like somebody, you know, specifically that you know, want to seek validation from. You know what I mean? So things like that, it's like you just have to become aware. You know, because you're gonna do it. You're not gonna be perfect at this. You're not gonna be perfect at confidence.
Exactly.
But you have to be aware.
Especially if you're chasing something, like you know, well, even if you're chasing or not, because some people, they're using social media as a platform for business, for, you know, trying to get their brand out there. Then you have the ones that are zombies that just check up on it and seeking validation for what reason? But if you're chasing something, understand sometimes we look at the numbers because that's what we're chasing for. We want to be popular. We want the numbers. We want people to love us. You know, we want people to care about what we're doing. But at the end of the day, you can't look at that because you're going to get frustrated if it's not happening for you. If the numbers are not there that you want, if people are not really loving what you're doing at first, do you have the confidence to keep driving and driving and driving to see, you know, what you can make of yourself?
Yeah.
Number 4, and one of like probably the biggest tip for me is being grateful. The biggest thing for me and what blows my mind the most is how people are so ungrateful in the United States. When you see the things that are going on around the world, like Venezuela, people can't even eat. You know, Africa, it's looking bad over there, you know, for people, you know, and the
lack of resources.
Yeah, it's a lack of resources, exactly. Lack of resources, you know. There's some smart people out there that are not in the US that will never get to experience or express yourself and show how smart they are because of their situation and circumstances and lack of resources.
Yeah.
But when you're in America and you're ungrateful, and well, most of the ungrateful people live here. You know, that's just sad. I still rep US like America all day, you know what I mean? But it's like, wow, seeing us as Americans, it blows my mind to see how ungrateful a lot of us are. So I think, you know, the biggest thing is being grateful, knowing that you have a roof over your head, knowing that you're eating, you know, good, you know, knowing that you can go get a job if you want to, you know, McDonald's, so many different jobs that you can get, you know, to start your dream off. But in the US, the opportunities here are endless. Other places, some people don't have no opportunity at all, you know, so being grateful to what you have, you know, and of course, you know, fight to get more, but always be grateful and be thankful that you're not as bad as you think. Your situation is not as bad as you're viewing it. It's your mindset, you know? Yeah.
So thank you for watching our video. If you guys made it till the end, you are real FabFitFam fans. Make sure you subscribe, click the bell notifications so you guys are notified of our new videos when we upload them. And give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed and if you found it helpful. And we'll see you guys in our next video.